Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I hope the conversation that we've had on this amendment and the dialogue between Representative Alverson and I disturbs you, because if there are no experts on this area in this body, and there are experts who are telling us that this bill will violate their professional ethics and their Hippocratic oath, then we should adopt this amendment that protects those experts, protects those professionals, and says nothing in this bill will force them to violate their Hippocratic oath.
Mr. Speaker?
Representative Zwiener, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for some questions?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
I yield.
The gentleman yields.
Representative Talarico, I was troubled by your exchange with Representative Schaefer and some of the gender essentialism he brought up, and so I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about that. As you know, I'm a mom. Being a mom is a big part of who I am. Do you think the women on this floor who are not mothers are any less women than I am?
I do not.
Do you think that it is offensive to women, whether cisgender or transgender, to reduce who we are to our ability to reproduce?
I believe it is deeply offensive.
Representative Talarico, you are not a father. Are you any less of a man because you're not a father?
I don't believe so.
I would agree with you. Representative Talarico, do you see this same continuing pattern of really trying to identify women by our reproductive identity and restricting our reproductive abilities as tied to the same determination to discriminate against transgender people?
It disturbs me greatly. This bill, I think, is the most dangerous bill that's being heard on this floor this session.
And thank you, Representative Talarico. I think we should all agree that whether or not we have had children and our genitalia are not the most important parts about who we are, and that other things are much more important. So thank you.
I agree. And Representative Zwiener, being a man involves a lot more than your genitalia. I know single moms in this state who are much more of a man than some deadbeat dads in this state. And I would hope that all of us here could acknowledge that experts and doctors, in consultation with parents and patients, should be making these intensely personal health care decisions and not politicians here in Austin.
Thank you, Representative Talarico. I agree.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Representative Talarico sends up an amendment. Dr. Alverson. The amendment is not acceptable to Dr. Alverson. It's a record vote. Question occurs on the adoption of the amendment. It's a record vote. The clerk will ring the bell. So Representative Swanson, nay. Dr. Alverson, nay. Have all voted. There being 56 ayes and 82 nays, the amendment fails to be adopted. Following amendment, the